This is the story of a mysterious remote radio monitoring site that was hidden out of general view on a hill just outside of Manchester. This is Hyde RMDF. During its time, it was used for secretly and remotely monitoring the radio spectrum in the area for sources of interference and illegal use. Whether it be pirate radio or interference to emergency service communication systems, it was utilised by Ofcom to sniff out accurate locations of these signals. It forms part of a network of fixed remote monitoring and direction finding, or RMDF systems, that have been established at strategic locations around the UK. These stations can be controlled from Ofcom's listening ear at Baldock Monitoring Station and provides monitoring and direction finding capabilities which are shared with other Ofcom users. When networked together, these stations provide accurate position fixing capabilities. These resources are used to investigate interference complaints, helping to keep the radio spectrum clean. Typically, shift engineers in the operations room are able to monitor around the UK at any time, day or night, allowing them to provide a swift initial response to affected customers, particularly those providing safety of life services. The RMDF systems operate over a frequency range of 20 MHz to 3 GHz. As well as being available for real-time manual remote monitoring, they can also be scheduled for automated monitoring and measurement tasks to capture intermittent interference activity for processing later. They can make accurate measurements of things like frequency, bandwidth, modulation depth, frequency deviation, field strength level, and of course angle of arrival. In addition to the fixed systems, a number of transportable systems are available to deploy to specific areas nationwide, wherever a concentrated monitoring requirement is identified. These systems are deployed separately because RMDF systems are optimally sited on high ground so that they have the highest chance of receiving an interfering signal, whereas the UMS systems that Ofcom uses are generally mounted in city centres where they only receive local signals and can accurately map the usage in that city. The RMDF sites were rolled out by the Radio Communications Agency, with 24 implemented by 2005, which were inherited when it was amalgamated into Ofcom. In its infancy, the network was projected to encompass over 2,000 sites. The permanent system at Hyde was approved in 2004 and installed in 2006. However, a temporary setup did exist beforehand and was likely to have been introduced around 2003. The dome on top of the mast houses either a Model 641 or 643 antenna made by TCI International. This works over a range of 20 to 3000 MHz and is designed for applications requiring an antenna capable of handling both vertical and horizontal signal polarizations. It allows broadband operation from 20 to 3000 MHz for both direction finding and signal monitoring. The DF array in the model consists of 9 dual polarised antenna elements that are housed in a plastic radome. The radome includes broadband monitoring antennas and a broadband RF switch. The VHF DF array consists of 5 vertical dipoles and is mounted just below the radome. In SMS or DF systems, the RF switch carries the signals from the DF elements to an external 2-channel DF and monitoring receiver and generates test signals for DF calibration and automatic system self-tests. The array was positioned on top of a mast on private land and had feeders running into a small cabinet that contained sophisticated Rode and Schwartz equipment. The receivers are extremely expensive and complex, but they are really accurate and work extremely well. Sometime between the end of 2018 and 2019, the system completely disappeared from Worneth Low after 15 years of operation, leaving nothing but an empty cabinet. Now, this isn't because the system is redundant or Ofcom had a shift in priorities within the radio spectrum. It was removed purely as part of an upgrade in their RMDF and UMS capability. The level of spectrum coverage Ofcom has is bigger than ever, they just use different systems. So that is the story of what was Ofcom's remote monitoring and direction finding system that sat waiting silent and dormant on Worneth Low for many years, ready to be woken up to listen to the radio spectrum.